It's been nearly 28 years since A Different World ended its run on NBC, but it looks like the cast of the iconic show will be reuniting this Thursday as a part of E! Entertainment's reunion road trip. This will be the first time audience will see the cast together in years. In the trailer that was released, they discussed development of the show, the guest stars that stopped by, and its cast and crew. Now, fans would be quick to notice that Lisa Bonet was absent from the reunion and did not respond to Vanity Fair's request for comment. For those of you who don't know, Bonet got pregnant and married after its first season, which would later cause her to leave the show. Debbie Allen joined the show as a producer and director, and many would say that the show got much better after the first season due to its authenticity and focus on social issues. Today on the show, we have a very special guest, comedian Jordan Jackson, and one of our very own Comedy Hype analysts, Pierre, on the show, and I have to ask the question: was getting rid of Lisa Bonet the right decision for A Different World? But first, let's take a look.
Seeing Susan, such a treat, still as funny and still fine and still dressed like a boss.
Our show is based on legacy, just the concept of Hillman, of coming up and standing on the shoulders of those who came before us. However you guys figured it out to get all of those amazing people to guest star on our show: Patti LaBelle, Diane Carroll, Gladys Knight, Richard Roundtree. I mean, the list just went on and on.
Now, we're in a time where we're starting to see a lot of reunions come together. Pierre, I want to start with you. What was your first reaction when you saw this clip of this reunion?
First, give me a shout out to my man Sinbad, good guy. I know him personally. Get well, Sinbad, brother. We're praying for you, and we hope you get well. It's cool. I mean, you know, why not have a reunion of the show? The show was instrumental to a lot of black kids going to school, going to black colleges. So props to that. It came at a time where we needed to see young kids, you know, being in a positive, young black kids being in a positive situation and going further in their education. So, you know, seeing the show being a reunion, I'm happy for it. I'll end with that portion unless you ask me more, because I'm going to something different if you ask something different.
Oh yeah,
my initial.
You know there's layers to this for sure. But before, first and foremost, welcome to the show, Jordan Jackson.
Thanks for having me.
We're happy to have you. Now, after seeing this, what is your initial reaction seeing this reunion come together?
My reaction was, Don is still fine. I was looking like, whoa. And I saw Kadeem. I was like, okay, I wonder if, you know, you're getting up there in age, you had that hat on for a reason. I mean, is the box still there or what? You know, that was my reaction.
That's dope. And it's just good to see all them coming together and, you know, just to make a reunion. Now, Pierre, you kind of touched on it. This has layers. As I mentioned earlier, you know, a lot of people did notice that Lisa Bonet was not a part of the reunion. Then we would go on to find out, you know, she declined or didn't respond to Vanity Fair's request to the article that they did on the entire cast. Now, I know you were growing up during this time, and there were just a lot of speculations, you know, into why Lisa Bonet left. There's actually a quote that Lenny Kravitz would put in his memoir that says that Bill Cosby said, very plain and simple, Lisa Bonet is pregnant, but Denise Huxtable is not. So after, you know, hearing that and looking back and, you know, being that you went through that time, do you think they made the right decision when they let Lisa Bonet go?
That's a good question. Well, a couple of variables. First of all, people say the show got better. It's kind of unfair to say that because the first year it was a good show. The first year it was high in the ratings. It was a good show. We don't know what the second year was going to happen. Because she left, we don't know what it could have happened with her being on it. Now, I don't like the fact that, you know, we found out that because she got pregnant, she had to get kicked off the show, where many shows have worked around people's pregnancy. I think it was a time when Bill Cosby had his whole mighty hand on his way or no way. You don't be a young black lady and have a baby before you get married. I don't know if she was married at the time, not exactly the timing of that was, but him feeling that and feeling like if you ain't gonna be, you gonna be pregnant in real life and you gotta have an image to hold, we getting rid of you. That's some, you know, I think that's a little bit of BS, his heavy hand on stuff. And we see, you know, because that was the time he told kids how to dress and what to wear and all that kind of so forth. I think he went about it a little old traditionally. Okay, with that being said, with the show going further, I feel like why say it got better without her? What happened was it started developing more other characters without her, because the show was first about her and it focused on her mostly. Well, when she was gone, now you had to find different stories with different other people. Well, usually any show would do better if you have more intricate people and interested in more people. Who's to say that with her being the next season, we wouldn't have still understood and got to meet other people also. So I think it's kind of unfair to say that with her gone, it became a better show. if it had went down and then they got rid of her and it went better then that could say that make more sense to me.
Right. Now, Jordan, getting this information, I know a lot of people, there was just a lot of speculation, but, getting that information, what are your thoughts or your reactions to that? Do you think they made the right decision to lose Lisa Bonet after the first season?
To be honest, she really wasn't missed. But I can say that I agree with Pierre. I'm thinking that it was more of he felt like it was a tarnishment towards the brand that he was trying to push out to people.
Right.
And he just, I guess decided not to support her and went in another direction. But I would still say the show was still great. But I would have kept Lisa Bonet because she was, the eye candy that we was all,
right.
everyone
still had her poster.
We got the posters and everything.
Right.
Like she was big.
And I think both of you bring up a great point because during that time, I feel like a lot of content or just things that were coming out were big on messaging. We know Bill Cosby was very, particular about making certain messages come out. So Pierre, I'll come to you first. Looking back, do you think there's a difference in the sitcoms that are coming up where back then A Different World was very particular about, the messaging that they're pushing compared to, the sitcoms and content that we're seeing today? Do you think there's a difference in that?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know. I think they're pretty heavy-handed on some topical issues in the sitcoms now, like Blackish. I mean, I don't know how many black sitcoms are out there. I don't know. The sad part, there's not that many black sitcoms out there, period.
Right.
Like it was back in the day when you had Martin, what was that? What's the one with Urkel? Oh, yeah, so many shows with black people in it.
Family
what I'm
Matters,
saying? We had a lot more to pick from. Now I don't see that many to pick from. So, but the ones I do see, like say for instance, Blackish, that they had a lot of topical stuff, and I think they go a little edgy. They go edgy. But for the time, I think Different World pushed the envelope more than any other black show at the time. And was much needed. I unfortunately feel it's not wrong, but like Jordan said, I'd have kept Lisa Bonet. But I think she was too much of a free spirit. Her personality, her living style on that set was too free-spirited for what Cosby wanted. He wanted more traditional, go to college, do your thing. This girl was way over, to the next level. And maybe that was, easy way to get rid of her too. But I don't know.
Now, Jordan, I want to ask you, as a up-and-coming comedian right now, like content is big, and it's switched from not even just being on television, but now we have social media is huge. So is there a difference in your content? Are you aware of the messaging that you're pushing, or is that not the content that you feel like people want to see? Like how do you maneuver in this time with your content?
Well, actually, when it comes to my content, I only want to send a message. I'm not gonna I don't knock what everybody else do with getting a bunch of females in there.
Right.
But then what they're not understanding is they're coming to your page for those girls. If you take those girls away, then what's left? So my videos are going to be clean, they're going to be informative, and there's going to be a message in there. Now, will I have a beautiful girl in there? Of course. I mean, the marketing part of it is important. But I'm never going to do a skit that doesn't have great messages in it but that's what I choose to do, not knocking anybody else who does.
Absolutely, and I think this is definitely a necessary conversation. I think a lot of people weren't really aware of exactly what happened to Lisa Bonet, like what exactly happened after that first season. So I do hope in this reunion that there is some type of conversation maybe that comes from it, comes in it, or just something to give us more of clarity on the situation. Because there's just so much. Go ahead.
But let me ask you something, Tiffany. I'm wondering why she didn't come and do the reunion. There must be some bitter blood. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about she got off that show. She did a little movie career thing, but she seemed to be holding a little more of a grudge to this day to not doing. And that's the story I want to know. Why ain't Lisa Bonet ass on that damn reunion show? Why ain't she talking?
Right, especially it's been 28 years since then, so you would think that things have been reconciled by then. But I mean, then again, we also know when we saw the reunion with Will Smith, people hold grudges. Especially if things aren't solved during those years. Maybe there's some type of miscommunications that didn't, take place, or just I don't know. I'm hoping. Me too, Pierre. That's basically what I'm saying. I'm hoping we gain that clarity too, because I'm interested and I want to know, and I want to see them come together and maybe do a project. It's been 28 years.
Exactly. And why we gotta suffer? You know what I'm saying? We are the fans. We're the one who wants to see it. So I mean, don't be selfish, Lisa. Come on back. Come on.
I appreciate. I like that. I like that a lot. Well, I appreciate y'all so much for chiming in. You heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your reactions to A Different World's reunion? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
And you know we got to put it in the comments.
While we protect Black culture.